I'm in Chicago's bustling West Loop neighborhood at the home of Threadless. Now, Threadless started in the year 2000 as an e-commerce retailer selling t-shirts with really cool and unique designs. But what differentiates Threadless from the competition is that it curates a community of artists who ultimately design and vote to decide which t-shirts are going to be printed and sold. So, after 15 years, what makes a community of artists such a thriving and iconic brand? My name is Adam Voss. I'm a father, an entertainer, and I'm a marketing geek on the hunt for cool brands. I've only got 12 minutes to tell you about their stories in our city. This is 12 for 12. Lance?
Yeah, how's it going?
Hey, Adam Voss with 12 for 12.
Awesome, nice to meet you. Welcome to Threadless.
I feel like we're in a gallery. There's just art everywhere.
Exactly. I mean, that's pretty much what we do, is what we're passionate about. We've kind of opened our building up so that we can show art in all its different forms and promote people of all different styles and not just t-shirts or online.
When you curate a new art piece, Lance, and you bring an artist into the space, what's their first reaction?
I mean, it's usually excitement. Usually, a lot of artists are familiar with Threadless. Always been fans online, but didn't see their art style as something that would fit into the apparel market or be part of a design challenge. So to give them the opportunity to be a part of what Threadless is. And what I usually do is bring the artist in for a tour of the entire space. And then I ask them to just look for a spot that speaks to them. Like, where's an area of the company that you think this is where your work should go?
So, who did the Bill Murray?
So this is a local artist called Grieve. He's currently one of my favorite local artists. He's got a very unique style where he takes old graffiti pieces he does and photos of them and kind of mixes them into like this weird, realistic portrait.
Cool, so you curate kind of art space outside of the actual warehouse here in the t-shirt?
Yeah, it's something we recently started doing. So to me, it's kind of a way of giving thanks to the artists that have worked with us by finding more work and more exposure for them and getting them more gigs, like Cornerstone's a sew house that I curate.
Nice. And there I see there's more art in the kitchen?
Yeah. When I toured Brainkiller through the Threadless headquarters, when he saw the break room, he was like, I just want to do this entire break room. So we would let him go to town in here, and he spent several weeks actually just kind of putting all the details in. I'd love to show you, take you to the men's room and see another popular street artist enjoy.
You'd be surprised to know that's not the first time I've actually heard that, Lance.
So I just love what this artist did. He wanted to wallpaper our whole men's room. And he's what we call a slap artist or sticker artist, which is very unique for this.
Oh, so cool.
He went crazy in here, wallpapering. And I love his phrase, art is not a crime unless you do it right.
They must know that it's fairly ephemeral, that if you guys pack up and leave this warehouse and go to a new space, the art stays here.
Most street artists are used to of everything being temporary.
Are we now in Grayskull?
This was always kind of a dream piece for us, that we always wanted this He-Man Castle Grayskull theme in the back of this. We have bands that are touring through, or local bands will have come in and play for 30 minutes, and we like giving them a nice background set. I actually got started bringing in artists, starting with the garage doors. It's a very highly coveted spot because all the street artists want to be outside. They want to be where people walking by on the street can actually see their work. This is a collaboration piece between Brainkiller and Shawnimals. It's cool because actually Brainkiller is working on the water tower above our new office.
Oh, that's awesome.
While Threadless curates art across many different canvases, including their own building, the canvas that built the brand was simply a cotton t-shirt. And it turns out a lot of their employees were hired from within the Threadless community of artists. Jeff Guerrero started as a Threadless community member and now curates the selection process.
Jeff, what do you do here at Threadless?
I am the head graphics coordinator here at Threadless. I guess you can call me like the curator of Threadless stuff, so I'm like the final gatekeeper of designs that we choose every week.
So how does the whole process work?
Anyone could submit. You don't have to be an artist by trade if you just have a passion for art or want to just create something cool. It's pretty easy. It's just like threadless.com/submit. It's about 10 days of voting. After voting, it's like a little wait period where me and my team kind of go through all the designs, kind of break it down to smaller lists, smaller lists, smaller.
So when it gets to your level, is it like the top 5% or the top 2%? Or?
There's definitely the top in there, but I definitely like to try other like new stuff, kind of test out stuff too.
So what's next for you at Threadless?
Curating as many collections as I can, especially with artist shops coming on. It'll be interesting how .com and artist shops kind of combine in the future, pulling from artist shops to kind of curate a .com selection and kind of growing from there.
The artist shops enable anyone to create and customize their own e-commerce store and sell a catalog of art-based apparel, prints, and more. Threadless handles all the logistics, including printing, shipping, and customer service. You just reserve your shop, upload your art, and you're ready to go.
Alex, you were the first artist shop that Threadless promoted.
Yeah, they decided to test my artist shop here because I had so many prints already, and
How
they
many
wanted
is
to
so
see.
many?
I would say around 80
Wow.
designs printed.
80 printed shirts.
Yeah. Lately, I've been focusing a lot on my own art. There's been a lot of stuff that's gone viral, like famous chunkies, interaction, adorable prey. I have like over 100 for some of the series, and that way with artist shops, I could pretty much sell 100 designs at once. I feel in a way that really helps me as an artist to like push me and create what I really want to do instead of like trying to please others. I see Threadless more as a voice for the artist than even a company and a brand.
Jake Nickel is one of the two original founders of Threadless. He's the current CEO and an all-around great guy.
Thank you for having us in your gallery home, if I could call it that.
Yeah, thanks for coming to hang out.
How does make great together translate in how you run the business?
I started this company really to just make cool stuff with my friends, and that's what Make Great Together means. Like, we're all kind of artists in our own right, so making stuff is a big part of it, and then great is about the curation that we do here, like how do we find the stuff that appeals to the most people kind of thing, and how do we learn and get better and stuff like that.
Sure.
And then together is the community part.
Just doing it yourself, did you ever say, well, I don't know, I'm not a t-shirt designer, I've never owned a e-commerce company?
Really, I didn't know any of this stuff. I didn't know how to print t-shirts, how to ship orders, how to process credit cards, any of that stuff. And by telling all these people that I respected online that I was going to do it, kind of forced myself to figure it out. Like, I flipped my fears a little bit. Rather than being scared to do it, I was scared not to do it because people would be like, you said you were gonna do that and you didn't, what's going on?
And I wonder how important is it to frame what you do in that kind of context of like, do what you're good at and really focus in on that.
Yeah, we stumbled a lot. Like, we really didn't focus on Threadless as being the full-time job that we all do here until 6 years into the business. But even then we were too stupid to focus on Threadless. We just started like 8 other businesses because we thought, oh, our ideas are the best ideas.
And you kind of bifurcate your focus and then you kind of you lose steam in each of those.
So we finally shut down all of those and started focusing 100% on Threadless. We learned other things like when we went into retail, we managed all the sales process, we figured out distribution, we ran the manufacturing from here. That was really difficult for us to try to learn those 3 things and more on top of what we were currently doing. And now we're taking an approach that's working much better, which is a licensing approach. A lot of it does become like, we do everything, and then we shut it back off to focus on the one thing that we're the best at.
And the shared economy of like Airbnb or Lyft or whatever. What do you think of this new onset of business paradigm?
I see a lot of businesses start that are like, how can we use this community to do our work for us? Versus the way we think about it, which is like, there's this community of people out there doing amazing things, and how can we add value to them, and like, I think crowdsourcing over the years has gotten a bit of a bad name with some of the stuff that's happened, where it's more like, how do we reduce the price of labor and stuff like that?
We crowdsource.
Exactly, yeah. Threadless.com, the technology, the website, you could build the exact same technology and use it for good or for evil, I guess.
Yeah, well, if you're not empowering your artists, I mean, like I definitely see your brand as a community or a club than I do like a evil empire of t-shirt retail. So now the technology has shifted too in terms of printing, right?
Yeah, on-demand printing has gotten on par, if not better than, it depends what the graphic is. Like a photograph prints a lot better on demand because you're dealing with like CMYK basically colors, whereas with screen printing there's spot colors where you have to choose which colors you're going to print. The downside is it's really expensive, but the upside is you don't have to take inventory on anything.
So there's no storage for inventory, and there's less waste. It's more sustainability.
And you can have a longer tail of graphics, I
Longer
guess,
tail of
because
graphics.
with screen printing we have to print a minimum quantity of whatever it is, whereas with on-demand we can do a unit of one, you know?
So you're moving into kind of this adjacent community of the artist shops, but you're also physically leaving this amazing canvas on Madison Street here in the West Loop.
That's right, yeah. This will be our 8th office that we've been in our history. So we're used to change. We've been in this one the longest. It's been like 5 years. But
This
yeah,
is the biggest you've ever had to?
yeah, this is the biggest space. It's about 45,000 square feet. We're moving out of the warehousing side of the business. We have partners that drop ship a lot of the orders to our customers. So we basically need to grow our office space, but we don't need a warehouse anymore.
If I wanted to start the next Threadless, what advice would you give to me?
Look at the community of people that you want to work with, whether it's artists or like people like chefs, and think of it more of like how do you help add value to a community that's already doing cool stuff, rather than like how can I use this community to do something for me.
So I guess the only thing left to say is I challenge you to a game of foosball.
Challenge accepted. Winner gets a free t-shirt.
Winner gets a free t-shirt.
Excellent shot.
Even though Jake, honestly, utterly destroyed me at foosball, he is as gracious in victory as he is in person. And as a consolation for losing, he even let me model some t-shirts for a Threadless holiday photo shoot.
Threadless is a vital brand, a successful brand, because it's a community of artists that make great together. And like He-Man and all of his friends in Grayskull, making great together gives you the power.